Boy 2 is the sequel that we all have been waiting for. This film stars Katie Holmes and Ralph Emerson? Yeah, it's that one actor from The Witch. You guys know who I'm talking about. This is The Boy 2. It's a sequel to the first film, which was just called The Boy. That one starred Lauren Cohen. If you don't know who that is, Martha. Should jog your memory. The movie features a family that is dealing with some kind of traumatic event at the very beginning of the film. There's some kind of burglary that happens that affects all of them. They end up moving to a different house to try to get away from things, get away from it, you know, try to start a new life, so to speak. The son of these parents, who was obviously very affected by this traumatic event, he digs up a doll in the backyard, and guess what? That doll is Brahms. Then once he digs up the doll, he becomes obsessed with the doll, and then a whole bunch of weird stuff somehow starts happening. And that's the movie. I will say this, I do think that the actors are good actors, and I think that they are trying their best. A lot of times you say that in movie reviews that people don't really know what that means. What I mean is that the movie has problems. It has issues in terms of writing or whatever it has. In terms of the actors, actresses, and their performance, you can just tell that if they were in a better movie, like if the movie around them was better, then their performances would feel more worthy than they actually are. Generally speaking, I'm not usually impressed with Katie Holmes. I don't think she's that good an actress. In this movie, I thought she was actually pretty good. The child actor that plays the little kid in this movie, he gave a good performance too. While I was watching Katie Holmes, I couldn't help but think about Batman Begins and how cold and chilly she was at the end of that movie though. I know what you're thinking. It's kind of a weird thing to be thinking about while you're watching a movie years later, like a sequel to a horror movie. At the same time, the movie didn't really give me much choice. There wasn't much else of interest in this movie besides Katie Holmes and her nips. And honestly, her nipples, they transcended time and space. That's why I'm talking about them today. You can get mad at me for bringing up the cold weather from Batman Begins all you want, but this is science. It can't be explained away. As far as the negatives for the movie, yeah, this is just a boring ass movie, man. You might as well just skip this one, not even waste your time on it. If you're a fan of the first movie, like if you liked The Boy, and for the record, I don't know that many people that liked The Boy. At best, I would probably say I've met like 3 or 4 people in my life who say, it was okay, but most other people are kind of like, The Boy? Who is that? In general, if you like The Boy, I feel like you might not like this one because this movie kind of retcons that one and treats that one like it doesn't really exist, which is kind of weird for me because I think this is the same director and writer as the first Boy movie, so it feels like they would want to keep some kind of continuity. Oh, this movie just kind of shits all over whatever continuity you didn't care about in The Boy, and then it just kind of creates a new one, and it shits all over its own continuity within this movie. Which I guess, as far as like a one-off random story or whatever, you could kind of buy if the rest of the movie was entertaining or if it was well made or whatever, and it's not. The rest of the movie just relies on a bunch of cheap-ass fake jump scares, and fake jump scares, I swear on everything, they're like my least favorite type of scare in any horror movie ever. The ones in this one are even more insulting. It's not like there's a fake jump scare, like there's actually a squirrel that's just waiting to jump out from the corner and surprise you. It's a fake jump scare where there's nothing even really happening, yet there's like a loud noise or like there's a loud thing of music, and it's supposed to make the audience jump, and it doesn't even really affect the characters that much. So in the end, you're just sitting there like, dude, why are you wasting my time with this? The movie relies on a bunch of dream sequences and nightmares that don't really matter and kind of amount to nothing, so you don't care by the end of the movie. Try to set up this story with this tragedy at the very beginning of the movie, and it honestly feels more and more pointless the longer that the movie goes on. It doesn't actually impact or affect the characters even that much, and even by the end of the movie, you don't really understand everything that happened. Like I said, you get to the end of this movie, and this movie just kind of takes a dump all over its own continuity. There's things that happen in this movie that inspire questions, and the movie is not really interested in answering them, and sometimes that can be a good thing. In a movie like this, with everything else is just kind of poorly made, it feels thrown together, and it feels like the movie didn't really care about respecting its audience. And I could buy that this movie might have some unanswered questions that may be, oh, okay, well that just doesn't really make that much sense, but I could get over it, but it's just, it also makes the first one not make much sense. So you already have 2 movies that are loosely connected, and then it just kind of makes the first one seem like, what the hell was that? Makes this movie feel like, what the hell was that? So in the end, I'm just sitting here reviewing this movie, and I'm like, what the hell was that? Brahms, The Boy 2 was such a boring-ass sequel. I am going to give this one kryptonite. It was bad. I suppose it could have been worse. Tell me, what movie are you looking forward to seeing this upcoming weekend? Tell me it's Invisible Man. Like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel.